Good evening, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin evening update. So if you guys don't mind smashing that like button, we will go straight over to those charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4 hour. So as you can see, we lost this horizontal area that we had in. We tested it earlier today. Bounced off it, well, pretty much tested the top side of where we had been testing, just below this resistance, and failed, came back down and broken through, and we're now actually breaking through this second level we had at 10,200. So well, it's the next stop is 10k, isn't it, guys? So next stop is 10k, unless Bitcoin is able to put in a higher low here. But obviously, as you can see, it's coming down pretty hard, and yeah, just something that I have noticed is that you often get these sell-offs in threes. So yeah, maybe we will get some sort of sideways around here. Maybe that test down to take out these wicks, to grab some liquidity, and well, then either collapse or bounce from that level there. But yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out. Obviously, all that we really need to know is that stock markets, here's the S&P. Literally, this is the wedge we drew in this morning. As you can see, I was saying this is a bearish formation, and yeah, and literally it played out exactly as you would expect. Once we lost the bottom of the formation, we then came down to the target, which was the base here, which is where we've literally just come down to, today, this evening. Yeah, pretty textbook there, and this is obviously what is dragging Bitcoin down, along obviously with the rise in the dollar. But yeah, I mean, it pretty much did coincide with this move down here. So yeah. Good times. Dollar index, as you can see, dollar index has got that larger wedge we were drawing, but we're clearly out of that now anyway. So it was a bit experimental, that pattern. We will leave it in for the time being, because well, there are two trend lines that are potentially relevant. So we will leave them in to see if and when they do become of some relevance. Just straighten these out a little bit. Just a little bit more. Which one's moving? That one. There we go. That'll do. So yeah, obviously, dollar breaking out. Dollar is on a 4-hour 9. So read into that what you will. Is that going to reverse this whole trend? Maybe temporarily sideways to down. But I'd really be looking for a 12-hour or a daily to reverses. Incidentally, let me just show you the weekly on the dollar. Here is a weekly, and I was aware of this, and I would have mentioned it to you guys as well. But yeah, here was the weekly 9, literally called the low, a weekly 9 on the DXY. So there's a powerful TD foretelling what was going to happen here, and yeah, so there we have that. So let's just go back over to the 4-hour dollar index. So yeah, 4-hour dollar index on a 9. I mean, realistically, this weekly 9, you can say we are trading 4 candles, well, sideways to up. Obviously, it's a buy 9, sideways to up, 1, 2, 3. So have we got another candle, or are we going to start coming down? We will have to see, because I mean, clearly we are still overall the overall trend is down in this movement here, isn't it? So obviously we did eventually turn this around and come back up, but I mean, are we at this point here, or are we at this point here? That is the big question, guys. All I will say is that this high here is higher than this high, so we have obviously got the chance of making this low, well, if we make a lower relative where we are now, lower than this low. And obviously on this move down, this is our first major sort of pullback. Like, our first major sort of pullback was here, and eventually that did pull down. So not that history is going to repeat, or even history is going to rhyme, but yeah, just observing previous price actions. So yeah, let's go back over to Bitcoin. So yeah, as you can see, it is looking to try and get support at this level. I mean, it isn't the most relevant level, but it is an important level. There's a lot of price action here in this level, here in this little range. Yeah, I mean, here's a small bounce at this level. So can we make this more of a small bounce? Can we hold here? Obviously we're in real time now, so we're gonna have to obviously wait and see on that one. Daily. Yeah, not too much to read on the daily here. Let's go over and have a look at our good friend Ethereum. As you can see, Ethereum still not quite. What are we on a weekly here? I thought it looked a bit condensed price action. Yeah, the week, as you can see, we've lost this level now. This level we drew in this, well, when we were drawing this morning or yesterday. And yeah, I mean, realistically, the next target is this horizontal on this trend line. So Ethereum does clearly have room to run. Let's have a look at it on the 12-hour and the daily. Yeah, 12-hour 9 though. We do have a 12-hour 9 candle right here in Ethereum. So is this the acceleration on the 9? Who knows where this is going to end up? We've got 3 hours left, and is this going to turn price around? Yeah, potentially. You guys know I do like the 9s. Is it going to turn price around? Potentially. Let's just straighten this out a little bit. Obviously, we've not got the daily 9 there. But yeah, so let's look at the Ethereum BTC pair, see how we're doing here also. Yeah, we obviously at the moment we've lost this level, but we are obviously in the motion of this down move, so maybe this will regain this level also and hold here. But I mean, it's not the bullish of formations realistically, is it? I'm sure we can all look at that and think that this isn't the most bullish formation. Bitcoin dominance, not looked at that for a while. Got all the way up to our important level now. Up to it, and well, we got beyond it, wicked above it, and come back down. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it is looking like an S1, an SH1T show. Yeah, so obviously, if things keep going the way they're going, then it is just going to be exit. You can hit the exit button, hit the panic button, and then just get out. Basically, just get out of these markets and wait for basically what is gonna happen. Yeah, just dump wise, see what is going on. I mean, basically, you guys know I thought we were in a sweet spot up until the elections, and then things were gonna get wild. Maybe that just wildness is starting. Obviously, we have got the all the options shenanigans going on in the markets at the moment, and those trades are sort of unwinding. Obviously they're all retail bullish trade buying calls. Those calls have to get hedged, as in the market makers buy the underlying stock, which is kind of why these calls have been a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy when they've been smashing them in such large numbers of people. So not necessarily the biggest traders, but cumulatively have been hitting it quite hard. So obviously once those options expire, you no longer need your hedge, so you sell your hedge, so you sell your stocks. So if market makers have actually been buying a lot of actual stock to cover what is basically a bet, an options bet. It's just a derivative. It's not it's nothing to do with the actual, it's not actual stock you're buying. You're just buying the right to be delivered that stock, and then the person that writes the option then has to either has to obviously hedge that risk and deliver you that stock if you want it, if you don't want to be cash settled. But either way, my point is it's a derivative sort of. It's not you're not buying the underlying stock. But what the market makers do, they buy the underlying stock. The people that sell you, though, that are selling all those call options to all the Robin Hoodies, they are having to buy stock to hedge those positions, and then once those options expire, they sell that stock. So yeah, so just be aware of that dynamic. And that is not to say that, well, we should be higher, but there's all that selling coming on from the market makers. That's not to say that is the case and that we should be higher, but the market makers having to sell, because then you've got to remember the chicken did come before this egg, and the chicken was them buying these calls in the first place, which drove the market up. So the market was driven up, and it is now potentially getting driven down to fair value. Not the market was at fair value, got driven down by the by obviously the selling market maker selling, and should be higher for fair value. So yeah, just obviously I'm sure we can all get our heads around that. So yeah, Bitcoin here. I mean, it is looking like we are gonna well, swipe these lows. We have got this important trend line coming in, which will coincide with this well, sub 10,000 level. So I mean, one or two things is going to happen. Well, one or three things. We're going to turn around here, put in a higher low. We are going to swipe down to here, have obviously our potentially 3 drives down. Potentially 3 drives down, so I thought my video had ended then. Potentially 3 to 5 drives down into this trend line, into this horizontal, and then pump back up. Or we are just going to go full bear mode, lose this level and come down. And like I keep saying, it is going to come down to what this asset does here. Nothing comes down in a straight line. Also, nothing goes up in a straight line. And I mean, it's been going up, well, in a relative straight line. I mean, it could probably do this again before it has to have a serious retrace, or it could just be a fake out. But yeah, this is what we've got to be watching. We've got to be watching this dollar. And I mean, we did notice that stocks were holding up in the face of a strong dollar, and who was going to win the battle. And yeah, clearly it was the dollar that was going to win the battle. And well, there you go. There you have it. The dollar is king. All hail the dollar. Let's have a look at all hail the dollar so far as been a driver of the market. Obviously it's the world reserve currency, so if you want to call it king on that basis, you can do. But I mean, is gold or silver king? Maybe. Hey, who knows? And speaking of which, look at this. Look at this silver, guys. We can try and buy some cheap silver, which would be nice if we could, but obviously we can't. These are just the paper prices. You still can't really go out and buy it at good prices in the quantity you might want, so which is sad. There was a time when you could, though. There was a time when you could, and I did, but obviously that time has now passed. So yeah, so silver on the daily, as you can see, well, there's nothing here, guys. We are just in a pure air pocket. Maybe you want to call that a level around the 21s, but I think you're stretching. I think you are. You know, maybe you're not. Maybe there is a bit more confluence than none. All I would say is that this confluence is quite far away. This confluence here, though, obviously coincides with this level here, which is what I was saying is really about the only level down at 18. Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't have to get down there. Trends can just randomly reverse at any point. I've seen it lots of times in dumps. Just a reverse at just a random level. So yeah, we could reverse this, stabilize and reverse at any level, but the only real levels we have got to look for are well, if we want to try and be a bit optimistic, just over 21, which is not too far away from price, especially not at the speed we're moving. But then obviously clearly, well, maybe this one, maybe just sub 20 and then sub 19. But hey, do we think we're going to come this low and come into a bear market? I mean, potentially, obviously we could, because obviously, you know, my views are based off the dollar and where I think the dollar's going, and my views on the dollar were down. If my views on the dollar changed to be up, then yeah, these all become sells. And basically, everything is tipped on its head from what we are looking at the moment. So yeah, just back over to S&P, S&P on the 4 hour. In fact, we'll have a look at it on the daily. Just check out those moving averages. Yeah, I mean, it's similar to silver and gold. We've lost the 21 and the 50. Not that the 50 is important. I feel the need to say the 50 is not important every time I mention it. It's a bit feel sorry for the 50 period moving average, but yeah, I mean, realistically, this is a horizontal level we've got, and then yeah, then really we're looking at the daily 200. Would a test of the daily 200 be a bit crazy? Not really. It's a bit of aggressive a pullback, because I think we have sufficiently tested the 200, but yeah, I mean, the speed we're coming down at, I mean, I could see us getting there, but Yeah, I mean, but like I say, I know this is not like I'm saying this and hoping like a lot of the market participants, especially like the big professionals, that are just crying for the Fed to bail them out. I just say that stuff is potentially going to happen because those big professionals cry to get bailed out, and then the Fed is only too happy to obviously oblige. So yeah, obviously we've got to be aware of the Fed coming out. So yeah, I mean, realistically though, if we are basically back in the zone, so we can try and find support somewhere in here. But if not, again, we've got this horizontal here, which is pretty much going to coincide with the daily 200 anyway. So basically daily 200, and we haven't really tested this daily 200 at all. As you can see, I've been looking for them on occasion in the past, but yeah, but yeah, obviously we never really broke below, never got down, we got ball back up again. But is this the time? Is this the time? Should I have had my arrow drawn on like this? Should I have done it? Well, I have it there now, so we can observe. We move it here a bit, because realistically, if we do come down here, we'll probably be around there in the 200. So let's have a look at stochastics. Not that they matter too much at the moment, because we're just going down. Stochastics are obviously good, I find, when we sort of in a period of consolidation, to then get a gauge of whether the next move will be up or down, and also when that move could be. But yeah, 4 hour pointing back down, 10 hour looking to obviously stay jammed down here, 12 hour coming deep, 12 hour deep, guys. But obviously we know this is it, guys. I mean, 12 hours not turned up yet, so we're still coming down in price, and that's clearly what we've been doing. So we are deep in this 12 hour. So when it turns around, then we can obviously look for us to go up, and trading Bitcoin is that simple. Yeah, over to the daily. Yeah, daily coming down. Got plenty of room to run here. Plenty of room to run if it wants to. Buy daily turning back down, and 3 daily turning back down. So these 2 ones we had turning back up, but now turning back down. And obviously these are still going to be clearly going to be coming down based on the price action we've got. So yeah, I mean obviously the momentum is down at the moment, so clearly the stochastics are going to be relatively bearish. But the main one I'll be keeping an eye on is this 12 hour. If this does start to bottom out, it is a good oh, sorry guys, it is a good indicator as any for a potential reversal. And also we're going to have that 12 hour 9 candle coming in too. So yeah, look for a bounce on the 12 hour 9 candle. They have recently been marking out relative near top there, near top here. We didn't quite get one down here, but we would have had one roughly on these candles here if we hadn't price flipped. Yeah, tried to mount a bounce off the 12 hour 9 there, but got rejected. Held the price up there for a bit before going back up further, and the buy 9 as well, obviously, before this big move up there. So 12 hour 9s are actually quite useful, have been useful recently, historically also. So let's have a quick look at Tesla. How is Tesla doing? Down 10%. Tesla is at a trend line. It's at an important trend line for a wonky head and shoulders. So yeah, if we lose this, guys, we're coming down to here. We are coming down to this daily 200 around this area. I mean, this will overshoot the daily 200, but that is fine to overshoot the daily 200. That is just what is known as a swing failure. To trap more sellers in, puke more balls out of their positions, and yeah, then rally back up. So basically, yeah, which is basically a 50% reduction, 50% off sale in Tesla. Let's just have a quick look at that from where we are now. Yeah, about 48% off, so that would be pretty demoralizing for a lot of well, pseudo investors in Tesla. Yeah, crazy move there. Nikola getting whacked after its big move up based on GM wanting a piece. Neo though, look at Neo, guys. I mean, I did say I don't know whether you guys will remember. I have a conversation with people, not on this video. Neo, China has a lot of charging stations in lots of places, and the infrastructure built for their cars, electric cars, is a lot better than, say, for example, the US. So Neo for me always was a better bet, providing you were happy betting on Chinese stocks, and it is clearly holding up a lot better than I mean, here's the March low. We're basically at the high. Here's Nicola. Nicola. Here's the March low, and we are basically about, well, we're near the we're near basically the 618, aren't we? So we just should we swing this fib on? I don't think that's the fib tool. I think the fib tool is in here. Oh, where is it? Here it is. It's in here. Fib retracement. Here we go. So we'll just call it from basically roughly there to up here. Oh wow. So obviously, because quite a lot of time has passed on this well, daily chart, we are actually well below the 786. So we're just coming for 400% retrace now. So yeah. So yeah, Nicola not looking so pretty. Let's just get rid of that a sec. Yeah, and obviously I've shown you what Nero was. So now we'll have a look at Tesla. Tesla basically from its March lows here, yeah, looking just actually looking just like Nicola, in the respect of is hanging around at its highs. Sorry, not Nicola. Neo hanging around at its highs, but obviously clearly Neo is more bullish here, isn't it? We can see the bull flag that we've got going on here. Let's just get rid of that. As you can see, I've been keeping a track of this asset. It's quite an interesting asset. Yeah, so yeah, there you go. Neo is looking the strongest, which is what was my fundamental view. But obviously Tesla has had a big run. So yeah, you could have made a lot of money in this anyway. But Tesla is just looking a bit, well, it's just looking at, well, I'm only really basing it on this. I mean, we're still holding up there or thereabouts, and we can still potentially bounce off this and form our own pennant here in Tesla itself, clearly. But just do I think that's necessarily going to happen? That is the question, isn't it? Well, that's not the question. That's just a question asked myself. That's not like the irrelevant question the market should be asking itself. But hey, anyway, so yeah, just back to Bitcoin. I mean, we have got 12-hour stochastic getting deep. We have got a 12-hour 9 coming in. We have obviously got this major level of support. We have got this area we're in now that we could get supported in. But yeah, realistically, guys, do you remember when I said after we broke down here, we bounced back up and got back to 11,000? If we failed at this 11,000, that basically is the time that everyone should exit the market, and this is the most clearest day sell signal. Can you remember when I said that, guys? That is basically exactly what has just happened here. So let's hope that it just isn't the end of it. Let's hope we don't make a lower low. I mean, here's to hoping what use that does us. But yeah, just for the sake of interest in cryptocurrency, otherwise we are we're gonna have to do the 1 minus charts, and then chart start. See if I can do this. Can I do this? 1 minus. Does it work? Oh, it does work. Yeah. And then we'll just start trading this. We'll just start trading this asset to the upside, guys. Basically. So yeah, let's just get rid of that again now. We'll be bullish on the 1x chart. Do you know, I think I've said this before, do you know if you see any of like the professional short sellers, they actually do invert their charts and they change the candle colors. So yeah, it's funny. It's funny when you see it. Anyway, so wait, that is it, guys. So remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You should always do your own research, and I will speak to you guys in the morning.